Yeah. So the purpose of basically to have this open period balances is that this will update the balances as in there we have the open transactions. Let's say I'm running this particular report next month. So I'll do some sort of transaction this month since I have opened this period on April. Okay, so now next month if I close this period, again this balance will calculated and system will derive basically the closing balance and the other things in the TB. Okay, so that's the purpose of having this particular program. Okay, so we are done with opening up the periods. So now what we will do is that we will try to create the manual journal entry. Okay, so the navigation is that we will go to the responsibility that we created yesterday. Okay, so the navigation is journals and we will click enter. Okay, so this is what. So let me say first journal. Okay, and then we have the ledger name that is derived automatically. So this is being populated based on the setup or the profile option that we gave. So if you remember yesterday, we gave this profile option called GL ledger name. So that is the base for this particular population. So from there it will pick and period we can see uh, because we opened the first period. So that's why we are seeing this as well. So based on this period selection, a system will create the effective date. So we will not need to create it, select it every time. System will select it as last date of the particular period. If at all I want to have, let's say, mid of the month, like 10th, or probably I want to have 2nd of April. So I will have to change it manually. Okay. So here I have this date selection also. So from here I can select the respective effective date. Okay. And then we have the category. So we have two things. So one is category and the other one is source. So sources basically means that from where are we getting this particular journal entry. So this we will see it when we are seeing the journal input. We will not have an option to import it because we don't have external application or any connections between it. But theoretically, I'll explain and what are the configurations that we will have to do in order to receive any journal entries. Okay. So we have there the source and the category. So at high level, source is something that it will tell us from where this transaction is being received, and category will gives us information that like what kind of transaction is being received from the source. So with this, we will be able to identify in terms of reporting and the other aspects. Okay. And then we have balance type. So balance type is actual. We did not. So we have two things. So one is actual and the other one is budget. So budget we did not enable it. So we will have only the actual. Okay. And then the journal type. So journal type is standard since in ledger configurations we gave this as a standard. Okay. And then we did not enable budget and taxation, so we will not have the respective fields enabled. You can see this is frozen. Okay. And then we have conversion. So what is conversion is that the difference in the currency we call as conversion. So again, we have different concepts here. So one is conversion, one is translation, and the other one is revaluation. So we have three different conversions or the revalue the currency from the actual date of the transaction to the date when we wanted to get it or the end of the period, whichever is earliest. Okay. So based on this, we will have the currency daily rates defined and the transaction will happen on that. So this journal entry also we are saying as one particular transaction. So here if you see we have the transaction date. So system will verify these details we will see it when we are creating the foreign currency journal. So for now this is nothing but the transaction date of the currency specific. Let's say I don't have any foreign currency transaction. So what I will do is that I will just use the static value. That is, I'll say date, whichever date I wanted to use, I'll use here. And currency always it will be INR static value. Okay. So that's it on the header. So basically, this particular journals are divided into two parts. So one is header information. So header is nothing but this part, what we are seeing in the journal, ledger, period, all those information we call it as header information. And here, if you come down, we will have the line level information. Okay. So you can see here the tab named line. So this is what the line information. So what we will give it in the line is that, so this is the actual place where we will give the account code combinations. Okay. So let me select an account. So we did not add account. So let me pick one sample account and use it for both debit and credit. But in real time, it will be different. It will be kind of an rent account too or cash account, something like that. So after this, we will create a sample, what do you call the values, and we will create another journal entry. So for now, I'm just showing what is available. Okay, so now we are done. So either we can say Control plus S, or we have this one called Save option in yellow button. So this is for saving purpose. So, since this April period is open, I can save and I can post it directly. So, if at all this particular period is not open, what I can do is that I can just save and keep it ready for posting. So, whenever the period is open, so I can simply say, what I call the posting this particular journal entry. Okay. So now, after saving this particular journal entry, we can see that period has been frozen. So now, let's say I want to by mistake I entered, I mean, I selected April month instead of selecting the May month. So what I can do is that I have an option here to change the periods. So this will have an audit trial. So if at all anyone wants to take the change history, so they will be able to make it. So, but this is possible to change the periods, provided the JV is not posted. Once it is posted, we will not be able to do anything. So since this is not posted and it is only in the save mode, so what I can do is that I can change period from April to May. So I don't want to change the period. So what I'm going to do is that directly I'm going to post this particular journal entry. So for this posting purpose, system again triggers a concurrent program which will post this particular journal entries in the balance table. Okay. So once this is posted, so that is when we will be able to see this in any financial reports, like our trial balance, our profit and loss, our balance sheet, whichever report we wanted to have. Okay. So now we have this posting single ledger as an completed. So we will check view output. Yeah, so this is how the output will look like. So we will not have anything such a kind of an Excel sheet. So instead, we will have kind of an XML output viewer wherein we will be able to see the success records. Okay, so we can see that these are the valid journal entry batches. If it is not valid, system will give the exceptions below this. Okay. So this entry is passed now. So let's go and verify in application. Okay. So now we can see that this particular journal entry has been posted. Okay. So now if you see, I'll not be able to change anything. So before posting, if you remember, we'll be able to change the effective date and the change period. But now it is frozen because the status has been changed to posted. So here, where can I verify whether this is posted or unposted or what is the status? So we have other information. So here we have the status. So this is posted. Okay. And we can see the source also. So source will be selected as manual by default and category we selected as adjustments. Okay. So now what we will do is that we will see how to add any new account code combination in the system and how system will create combination for that particular account since we have given allow dynamic inserts. So when we are seeing on our first class, we saw that allow dynamic inserts will basically create the combinations on the fly. So we will see whether system is creating that. So we will create one new account code combination. I mean only account code, and we will see whether system is generating the combinations. Okay, so this is the manual way to create the account code combination. I mean account code. So I did not create any combination. So now if I go to journal entry and if I try to create the sequence of it or use the account code combination that we created now, so system should allow me to use it. Okay. So in case I did not give the allow dynamic insert, system will not allow me to do so. But since we have enabled it, it should allow me to do. So let's check. Okay, so I'm using the same information, so I'm not changing anything. So only thing I'm doing is that changing the actual account code. So this is rent to cash account. Okay. So we are done with our journal entry basically. So the understanding out of this particular journal entry is that we are paying our office rent expenses. So that is why we have the office rent expense account in debit side and cash account in our credit side. Okay. So we are done with our journal entry. So what we will do is that we will save and we will post this particular entry. Okay, so we have posted our entry. So after completing this concurrent program, what we will try to understand is that we will run a trial balance report and we will see how it is reflecting in that particular report. Basically, that report should contain three account code combinations. So let's try to understand if that is reflecting correctly. To run it, I'll submit a new request and I'll type trial balance. So the first one. Okay, so here we have different parameters. So here I can use either the ledger or the ledger set. Okay, so the ledger set and the other things we will see it at later point. So the ledger set at high level is nothing but the combination of or collection of multiple ledgers we call as ledger set. Okay, and this information system will pick automatically from the setups. So the ledger currency and the currency type, everything we gave when we are configuring our ledger. Okay, so we have a page breakdown segment. So page breakdown is nothing but to split basically the trial balance. So how do we want to split it? So we wanted to split based on the account or department or company. So how do we want it? So let me select a company. Okay. So now I have two different companies, but I did not do any transaction with the company 002. So I will select only 001. So if at all I wanted to get the range of trial balance, so I can select the specified range. Okay. So I wanted to run this for April. So whichever period we want to run, we can select appropriately. And then we have amount type. Okay, so here we have three types. So one is PTD, YTD, and PJD. So PTD is nothing but monthly transaction. So it will not consider let's say I'm taking this report in the month of November. So our calendar year is something like April to March. So when I select PTD, it is not going to select or it is not going to consider from April to November. Instead, it will consider only the November period activity, which means let's say I have performed 10 transaction or created 10 journal entry in November. So system is going to consider only this particular 10 journal entries. The remaining journal entries it is not going to consider. Okay, so this we call it as PTD. And the second option that we have is that YTD. So YTD is nothing but yearly transaction, which means let's say I'm in the month of March, not March, November. Let's take November only. So now, if I give YTD, that is year to date, so system is going to consider from April to November till date. It is not going to consider till March because the March period hasn't arrived. Okay, so it will consider from April to what you call the November, and it will aggregate and it will give the cumulative balance to us. Okay. And then we have project to date. So the project to date is nothing but it is kind of an estimation wherein we can analyze our trial balance and identify what are the planning that we wanted to take place in terms of financials. Okay. So let me run this for PTD because we will not. Okay, let me take YTD. Okay, so the trial balance is complete. Okay, so this is how it will look like. So here we have three accounts. So here if you see retained earnings account is zero because the debit and credit what we used is same account. So that is for the testing purpose. To nullify this retained earnings account, we gave debit and credits. So now the ending balance is zero. And now if we see the office rent expense, so this is in positive figure because this we are paying out of our hands. Okay, so this is in the debit side, and the other side we have the cash account. So cash is, I mean, it is coming down. So basically, this will have the negative effect that is minus 10,000. So net, if you see, it will be always zero. So we will not have any values here. So provided we have given this reconciliation issues and other things are closed, we will have zero figure here. So only the debit and credit will change, or we will have the values inside it because definitely we will have the period activities. Okay. So that is what about the trial balance. Any doubt till now, or we can move on? Okay. Yeah.
Can I talk in English?
Sorry.
सर इसका जनरल यूज कैसे होता है?
Uh, no, I think your voice is breaking actually. Uh, can you repeat once again?
इसका जनरल यूज कैसे होता है?
General use मतलब?
तो इसका यूज कैसे करेंगे? आप बोले तो प्रैक्टिकली कैसे यूज करेंगे इसको?
Okay, practical case you are asking.
हाँ,
Practical case in the sense like we will have a big list of trial balance. So trial balance varies by business to business because how it will happen is that let's say I have my business unit. So I have configured my business unit as in my BSV. BSV is nothing but my balancing segment value. So in this case, I will have a big list of what you call the trial balance. But here, if you see, let me reshare the screen. So here, if you see, I have this retained earnings account. So basically, we will not have anything happen in retained earnings, provided there isn't profit or anything that is reported. So that alone, I will see it in ending balance. But the nullifying effort will be always there. So in practical scenario, if you see the trial balance, I mean, reading the trial balance, that is different. So that is financial part of it. And to understand this, basically how we will see it is that always as a thumb rule, always it will be ending balance and the beginning balance total will be zero. We might have the opening balance and we might have the ending balance, but the total of this should be always zero. So that is when we can say that this particular case is properly reconciled. If at all I have balances here, so that is when we will say that this we have the unbalanced entry. So we have also control in terms of restricting the unbalanced entry. So here unbalanced entry is nothing but we have debit, and but we will not have the credit side. So here, if you see the first option in the debit side, we have 10,000. So similarly, we have credit side. Sorry, this one, third line. Okay. But whereas if you see the retained earnings account, we will not have 1,000, and we will not have the other side of it, but we will have the same side of it. But this will not be the practical case. Practical case will happen something like this. We will have the debit on account and we will have the credit on account. There will be no case that we will have debit and credit will have. Even if they want to knock off, and even if they want to adjust the balance, they will adjust with different accounts. They will park into different accounts, but not the same account they will nullify, because this will not give any meaning. Okay. So basically, that is how it will work. Uh, yeah, anything else? Yeah, any other doubt?
No, sir, you can.
Okay. Yeah, give me a minute. Yeah. So the next one that we will see is foreign currency journal. Okay. So we have certain prerequisites here in this part. So one setup that we will have to do in order to create any foreign currency transaction is that I will have to uh, create the entry for the subsequent currency. Let's say I'm dealing with US dollar. So I will have to create this particular currency rate as on date, whichever date I'm going to make the transaction. Okay, so the navigation for this is that setups. So under setups, we will have financials. Under financials, we have calendar. So inside this, we have daily rates. Okay, so let me query first if at all I have any transaction, I mean, any record that is created already. Okay, so there are a few records that has been created already. So that is from 1st of April to 5th of April. Already there is an record. So what we will do is that we will create it for 6th of April. So I'll say INR and USD. So here from is that this is our functional currency as the currency that we will be using. Let's say my business is running in India. So I will say my functional currency or the from currency is INR, Indian rupees. And two currency is what we are trying to make any payment or the transactions. Okay, so this will be my location of supplier. So I'm procuring or importing something from US. Let's say some raw material I'm importing. So the currency would be USD. Okay. So this date signifies whether I'm going to make this accounting or the transaction on 5th of April or 6th of April or 30th of April. So this signifies the exact date. So here what I will do is that I'll give April. Okay. And I'm not creating new calendar type. I'm using the existing one. Okay. Okay. So this is the rate that I have given. So probably we can select, we can try to understand when we create our journal entry. So now we have this option. So let's say I have an business scenario wherein I will have at least 10 to 20 countries that I'm dealing with. So in this case, the daily rates will be different. So here, for testing purpose, we have only one date, but in real time scenario, it is not just one day. So it is like keep on changing. So here we have two things. So one is corporate and the another one is spot. So for corporate, it is defined for let's say 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. So anything can happen. Okay, so the spot rates are defined as and then when we are making the transaction. So for corporate rate, in order to have this in place, so we cannot do manual entry, something like what we done now. So because it is a huge transaction, like let's say 20 country, and I'm having let's say 30 for a month, I'm loading it. So 20 into 30, it will be something around 6,000 records. So which I cannot what do you call enter it manually. So we have an option called webadi. So using webadi, what we will do is that we will basically load this daily rates. So from there, these transaction will be updated automatically. So if you see here, so from 1st of April to 5th of April has been uploaded using the webadi template, and it will reflect something like this. Okay. So that's what. So these are the two options that we have to update the daily rates. So based on the business load or the performance, basically we will have to decide whether we are going to use the webAD option or we are going to use the custom program to upload it, or we will be using the manual enter option, that is daily rates screen. We can enter how we did it now. Okay, so we are done with this. So let's try to create one transaction. Okay, let me check if the rates are showing properly. If not, we will have to set it up separately. Okay, let me check whether it's attached to this particular ledger, and then we will see if we'll be able to change this particular rate X. Okay, I think the profile option has to be given.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Your sound is cannot be listened to me.
Sorry.
Your voice cannot be listened to me.
Oh, you are not hearing me. Now, am I audible?
You are audible.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, so now here if you see, so we are trying to make a transaction with our USD currency. Okay, so as you can see from here that we have selected USD. So the moment we selected USD, this will enable us to select this type. How we are selecting this type is that based on the profile option that we gave just now. That is to override the user enterable this thing, daily rates. So this rate type that we are saying is actually the daily rates. Okay, so we should select it accordingly so that the values will be updated correctly. So since I did not select user or the manual entry, so this is selecting the rate based on the entry that we gave. So if you remember, the rate that I gave for USD is 72 rupees. So that is why based on that system is calculating it. Okay. So because let's say we gave only from 1st of April to 6th of April. So now if I select 7th of April, it will not accept. It will say that no conversion rate has been defined in this given currency, conversion date or the type. Okay, it will pick based on the combination. So now, if I change this to 6th of April, it will accept because we have the currency rates defined only till 6th of April. Okay, so that is based on this particular configurations that we are giving it there in the daily rates. So let me take this and I'll create one journal entry. So again, I'm using the same thing, that is office rent account to cash account. Okay, so I have selected office and debit, and let me pick cash and credit side. And the department that I'll be choosing for this particular transaction is purchase department. So usually it will not be purchase department. Usually the it will be by administration department. So just for our understanding, I'm just saying that it is purchase department. Okay, so we are done with this. So here, if you see, the entered amount is different from the accounted amount. So, what is entered amount is that USD because we are making the foreign currency transaction, and here we gave the currency as USD for the purpose of conversion. So, from our base currency or the functional currency, it will be converted to the USD. At what rate it is getting converted is at 72 rupees. Okay, so here we can see that this is entered and this is accounted. So accounted will be always on the functional currency, that is on the INR. But whereas the entered currency could be anything. So here we can see that debit USD. So USD is the currency that we are trying to enter this transaction. But whereas the accounting will happen for the INR because this is our functional currency. Okay. So system will automatically calculates the actual value and it will post to the appropriate account. Okay, so that's it. So let's save this particular journal entry and post this. So after posting this, we will see the trial balance, how it will reflect it. Okay, so this is posted. So let me run trial balance. So now this time, instead of taking company, let me take the department. So I have given two department, that is for purchase and accounts. So I'll take the report for each one of it, that is purchase and accounts. Okay, so the period is same, that is April 21, and I'll run this for YTD. Yeah, this report is done. So we'll see output. Okay, so this is how the report will look like. So this is kind of an account analysis report wherein we will have split up. So how this split up has happened is that since we gave the option, that is page breakdown is based on the department. So since we have created this journal entries for two departments, So for the first transaction that we created is for our this thing, what do you call the accounts department. And even though it is the same transaction, the first transaction we created with accounts department, and second transaction we created with purchase department. So that is why we can see here it is the same amount. I mean, amount is not same, amount is different, but the thing is that it has been split down into multiple pieces, two pieces basically. So one is 10,000 and the other one is whatever we gave. Okay. So that's what. So this is what about the trial balance in details and trial balance as an overview. Okay. So any doubt in this?
No,
Okay. So we'll move on.
yes, okay.
Okay. So we saw the period closure, we saw the manual JV, and so now what we will see is that we will see the reversal journals. So let's say now that I have created this one, what do you call the journal entries in functional currencies and foreign currency. So now what I will do is that I will basically, let's say I wanted to reverse this journal entry by mistake. Instead of saying, let's say, account 001, I said it is 1002. Okay. So in this case, if I want to reverse this entry, so what I will do is that I'll basically first query this particular journal entry. So now, what are the options that I have if at all I want to query this particular journal entry? So I have different options. So if you see here, I have batch. So batch is nothing but collection of multiple journal entries. So that we call it as batch. Okay. And then we have ledger. So let's say I don't know the journal, I don't know batch, I don't know anything. I know only the ledger. Out of four ledger, I know this is the ledger that I created this particular transaction. So what I can do is that I can give a combination stating that this is the ledger name and this is the period name. So here I have the period. Okay. So based on this, I can derive the output. So the reason why we have this filter is that now if I just click find, I'll be able to see this particular transaction, because the load, if you see, it is very, very low because it is only three transactions. This is not going to consume any space in the system or the database. But when we speak about the real-time scenario, it's not only the three transaction per day. We will have at least 1,000 journal entries that has been created or transferred from any subsequent subledger module. Okay, so for those cases, we cannot just click find. It will create performance issues. So in this case, what we will do is that we will use the parameters that has been given to us. So here we have multiple parameters. If I know the journal or batch, I can give it directly. If not, I can give ledger and period. Let's say I remember other information also. That is, I know source is so and so source, and I know, let's say, the category as well. This is adjustment. So this way I can give. Okay. And we have the advanced query option also. So how do I do the advanced query option is that I'll click more. So if I click more, I'll have an option here to identify whether this is a document number is from so and so, or maybe the creation date and the other inputs also. So let's say I don't know the exact information, which ledger it belongs to, or which source it belongs to. I don't know anything. So what I will do is that simply I'll say, yeah, 1 minute. So simply I'll say create new this thing. So I know only the amount. So I know the amount or the journal total or the particular line that I'm looking for is 10,000. So what I will do is that I'll click here. I know only the amount. So I'll click here and I'll say 10,000. So here we have entered debit amount. So I know it is 10,000. So I'll say 10,000 and I'll click find. Okay, maybe I did not query this, I think. Give me a minute. It should come basically, but I'm not sure exactly why this is not showing. Okay. Anyway, okay. So those are the options that we have to query this particular journal entry. Okay. So yeah. So let me query this one particular JV, and let me try to do a reversal for this. So what I will do is that let me take this one, the second journal. So what I will do is that I'll select this particular journal and I'll click review journal. Or let's say I'm not looking at a single journal, I'm looking at a particular batch. So instead of going there, I can directly click this particular batch and I can click reverse. But if I want to reverse any particular JV, I will have to click review journal, and from there I will have to change or reverse this particular entry. So let's say I want to reverse it in the month of May. So what I will do is that I'll select this period to May and I'll click reverse. So we can see the status that is not reversed. Okay, so after we reverse this, we should see the date as well here. And here, if you see, we have options as well, that is to switch the credit or debit. So reversal is nothing but it is nothing but nullifying effect. So now the debit amount we have in office rent account is 10,000. So after we reverse, so this will become zero, or this will knock off and say zero. Okay. So instead of changing the sign, I'm just leaving as it is, that is switching debit to credit. So I'll say reverse this. So after reversing this, so this will create a concurrent program. And after this, we will have to take that particular journal entry, the reversal journal entry, and we will have to post it. So that is when the actual effect will take place. Okay. So we will click view output. Okay, there is no output. Okay. Now let me close this page and let me query for the reversal journal. Okay, so we have this reversal journal that is for the entire amount. So now let's say I don't want to reverse this entire amount. I wanted to reverse only the partial amount of it. Let's say 4,000 or 5,000. So on those cases, we'll not be able to take up this option, the reversal one. So what we will have to do is that we will have to create the new journal entry, and wherein we will say that negative amount is 4,000 in credit side for office expense account, and cash account will be on the debit side with 4,000, so that we will have the nullifying effect. So that is the only way that we can give in case it is positive. I mean the partial amount. Okay. So now we can see that this is unposted. So unless we post this particular journal entry, we will not see the effect. Still, it is going to show that the actual amount is probably the 12 plus 1 plus this one. Okay. So when we post this entry, so that is when the actual effect will happen. So we can see that this is a reversal journal entry that system has generated automatically. So how I will identify the source journal entry is that using this description, the journal name. So we can see the journal name here, and the prefix will be reverse. So this is how we will identify. Okay. So we will just verify the information. Okay. So here we can see the actual account codes that is being used. So here you can see that it has just swapped the debit and credit, because here we did not give the negative amount. Instead, we gave switch debit and credit. So what we gave as an initial configuration or the initial setup is that we entered as debit 10,000 and credit 10,000. But now we can see that the first line is credit and the second line is debit. So it has changed it to vice versa. Okay, so now we can make sure that this is a reversal entry, and we have verified all those details. And we can see the status here. This is unposted. So now we will post this particular journal entry. Okay, the May month is not open. Okay, so this is in future enterable period. So now what we will do is that we will open this May month and we will post this entry. Okay, let us see the report whether it has completed. So once this is completed, we are good to basically do this one. Okay, this period opening is going to take some time, I think. So probably we will try to change the period to April, and we will complete our transaction. Okay, since this is reversal, this change option is disabled. Yeah, so this is done. The balances are updated. So now what we will do, we will post this, but okay. So now how do we verify is with trial balance. So we have two options to verify this particular transaction. The whether the effect has happened or not, we can verify with two ways. So one is the trial balance. First, we will see the trial balance option. And after trial balance, basically we have the another option also. So that is using this one, what do you call the account analysis report. So we will see how to see the account analysis report and what is the use of it. And we have another option to inquire the balance. So that also we will see. So now I will have to give YTD. So unless I will give YTD, I'll not be able to see the net effect. Okay, so I gave the details. Okay. So now, if you see here, so the net effect has changed from 10,000 to 10,000. If you see, so we did not have this negative amount. So this has changed. But still, even though we have done this, so the total of this ending balance and the total of beginning balance should be always zero. Okay. So that's about reversal journal. So any doubt, or we can move on. Okay. So we'll move on. So I'll just take a moment to explain the journal category and source, and I'll just explain conceptually. So how this import process will take place in real time. Okay. So the navigation for this particular configuration is setup. Under setup we have journals. So under setup we have journal or the category. I mean source or the category. Okay. So here, if I want to create any new source, I can create it. So let me name this as probably SAP, SAP DM, data migration. So I wanted to identify what are the transactions that has came as a part of data migration. So I'll just give an identifiable name here. Okay. And then I have few other options. So here I have import journal references. So whether I wanted to import the references is nothing but our source key. So source key is our reference. Okay. And then we have the journal approval. So we don't need journal approval at this point. So I'll say no for this for now. And then I have import using key. So whether I want to use this particular key as well. So this also I don't want now as of now. So I'll just leave it as it is. And then I have option to freeze the journal. So to freezing the journal is nothing but, let's say I have created one journal entry, like we were seeing the reversal entry. So for the reversal, if you see, system did not allow us to change anything. The reason for that is that freeze journal is set as yes. So when this freeze journal is set as yes, we will not be able to change anything. So I cannot change period. We had this change period option, so that will not be available. And the effective date, anything will not be able to change. So I should go as it is. So I will use this option when I need to have more control in terms of managing this one, what do you call, managing this journal entry. So that is when I'll say yes. So now I don't want to have those kind of restrictions. So I'll say no. Okay. And then I have effective date. So here effective date is nothing but the date when this particular transaction will fall in. So let's say there is an exception. So in this case, our understanding is that we are receiving some sort of transaction from our legacy system. So here legacy system is nothing but SAP, and the new system that we are bringing in is Oracle. Okay, so we are migrating from SAP system. So let's say while migrating, so the period is not open. So the period is closed. So how system should react? Whether the entire batch should fail, or whether it should leave as it is with exception, or it should what do you call it should roll the date. So roll the date is nothing but it will pick the latest available open period, and it will say that this record has passed successfully. So that is the thing. So for now I'm choosing roll date. Okay, so I'm saving this particular thing. Okay, I think so these are like DFF, the additional information if you want to capture. Since this is test environment, someone has gave the what do you call the DFF and other options. Okay, so we are done with this. So this is what the journal source configurations, and next option we will see is journal categories. So journal categories are simple. So we will say, let's say, SAP DM invoice migration. Let me say SAP invoice data migration. Okay, so I'm just saving this, and I'm done with my categories and source. So now what I will do is that, so here I have two options. So either to receive transaction from the external system, or I can use the web ADI to load this particular transactions. Or if at all I want to check whether this is working properly or not, I can check using the standard this one. Okay. Or else let me show using this one, web ADI. Okay, so basically what is web ADI is that this is kind of an Excel based tool wherein we will use this option to load our journal entries. So usually in real time in terms of implementation, if you see we will not use this manual way of creating the journal entries. So our trial balance migration is nothing but only this one, what we call the journal entries, that is account code, debit and credit. That is our journal entry. That is as simple as that. But in real time, we will have more than 1,000, 2,000 lines, but we will not be able to enter all those things manually. So for this purpose, what we have is that we have this option to load it using the Excel sheet. So this is the standard or the seeded one given by Oracle in order to do the trial balance migration. Okay. So now let's say I wanted a customized one. So can I create a custom template? So this will be entirely technical development. So this will go through this one, what you call the requirement, and from there we will take up the template, and then after designing it, we will develop it, and we will have a separate form. So even if it is a custom, the navigation is same. We will say create document. Okay. So once we click this, a new form will open there. So I'll reshare the this one. Okay, so this is our page basically. So if at all, so here in this case, I have so many integrators. So if I want to go for a custom option, so I will have to create it and I will register here. But here I don't need this one. So I will use the standard one. So what I will select is that I will select general ledger journals. Okay. So after selecting this, I will have an option to create it. So I'll select the Excel that I'm trying to work on. So let me check my Excel this thing. Give me a minute. Let me check my Excel version. Okay, I think this is 365, but I don't think it is there. Okay, let me take this one, Excel 216. Okay, so I'm selecting this one, and then I have this one. Shall select functional and single, and I have option to create this. So the moment I say create, it will create this Excel file. So based on the inputs that we have given. Sometimes download will take, yeah, it's opening. Okay, so this is how it will look like basically. So we will have to give the required fields here. Okay, yeah. So the category by default it has come as this one, but we will have to change it manually. Mm, okay. So the data access set and everything. So what I will do is that I'll just pick from the application and I'll just paste it here and we will see the upload option.
Mm, okay, I think I need to change this one profile option. So let me change this. Okay, so let me generate this file once again and receive.
I don't have understand what can do.
Sorry?
I don't have understand what can do.
Yeah, I'll explain because what we are trying to achieve here is that uh, for practice purpose you can use the journal entry, but whereas in real time in terms of implementation, you will have to learn this actually. These are like tools given by Oracle. So these are like not the standard ones, but kind of an custom one. So that is why I'm trying to show you these options. So probably I'll explain this. Okay. Okay, let me start from the beginning. So what we have done is that we have created a new responsibility with the name Tata DA, Desktop Integrator. So why do we use Desktop Integrator is that basically if we want to load values using the Excel sheet. So we have few seeded templates that is available in the Desktop Integrator. So wherein we can utilize that and we can load the values. So out of it, we are taking one option that is journals. So when we say trial balance migration, always it is what we call the journal entry loading. So we will use the standard functionality to load the trial balance instead of writing the custom program and pushing all those things. So this is simpler, much simpler way to load the balances. Okay. So once we are loaded with this particular balances, so that is when our actual transaction will start. So in order to load it, how we are using it is that we are again using the standard thing. So since this is an practice environment, so by default we will have only the vision operations. But we don't want to have vision operation, or our primary ledger is entirely different. So what we are doing is that we are after creating this particular responsibility and assigning it to user. So we are assigning a profile option called data access set to the responsibility called Tata DI. Okay. So the responsibility that we have assigned is data access set and the response. I mean the ledger that we have attached it Tata PA. That is our ledger. So now next step is to generate the template or the Excel sheet. So how do we generate this is that we will say we will go back to our original responsibility that is Tata DI data integrator, I mean desktop integrator, and then we will click on the create document. So this create document. So what this will do is that it will help us in terms of developing, I mean downloading this particular template. Okay. So here we have multiple steps involved in it. So here if you see, so these are the list of templates that is available with Oracle. So we have AP invoice, and then we have journals, budget, for everything we have. So what we want to do is that journal import. So for this, what we will do is that general ledger journals. We will click this option, and after loading it, we have an option to generate. So we will click. create. So once this is created, we will have a Excel sheet, something similar to this. Okay. So we will have our data access set and our chart of accounts created. So now we can see the sources, what do you call the spreadsheet. So this is a common source that has been assigned by Oracle. But in case, let's say our sources are different. Let's use the source that we created while we are seeing this one, journal import. So let me take this particular source, that is SAP DM, and let's load. So before we start the loading activity, any doubt in this, or you did not understand or anything?
सर मुझे इतना समझ में नहीं आ रहा है लेकिन थोड़ा थोड़ा तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है
मतलब कौन सा पार्ट समझ में आ रहा है?
अरे लेकिन बस तो मुझे पूरा समझ में नहीं आ रहा हूँ लेकिन मेरा जो ग्रेजुएशन की फील्ड थी वो आर्ट्स आर्ट थी इस
ओके.
फील्ड के मेरे का पूरा नॉलेज नहीं है लेकिन कुछ तो बहुत समझता है थोड़ा थोड़ा
ओके.
तो आप तो जरा
हम्म.
आपको जैसा मतलब स्टेप बाय स्टेप बताएंगे ना ऐसा करके इस स्टेप के बाद ऐसा करने का वो बात ऐसा करने का इस स्टेप से बताएंगे तो मुझे बेटर होगा
Okay. So what I will do is that I'll first tell you how to load this particular journal entries into Oracle application. So once this is done, I'll show how to download the Excel sheet by step by step. Okay.
हाँ यस
So,
सर या
so after this, I will show you what are the steps or the configuration part involved in it. Okay. So, okay, so this will be our base template that will be seen. Okay, so now here we can see that these are the things that been populated automatically by the system. So here we can see that the ledger, I mean, the data access set and the chart of accounts has been derived based on the configurations that we gave. I mean, the profile options basically. Okay. So now we wanted to change this spreadsheet. So, okay, so source cannot be changed here, I think. Okay. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's take the Tata field. Okay. So the category is our this thing. Okay. So this will be our journal description. So let me say Excel upload. Okay, and the currency I'll give INR, and accounting date is probably 5 April. Okay, and then we have our segments. So segments, this is case sensitive. So what I will do is that I'll pick from the application. So I'll just copy paste from the application so that it will not give any validations. Okay, so so here the company value is 001, and the account code that we want to use is office rent account. So I'll just copy the office rent account. Okay, so this would be my office rent account, and my department will be 0 to 0. Okay, and the amount would be probably 23,000. Okay, so now I'll copy down all these inputs. So only the account code combination will be different. So here my one item will be this one. So I'm going to use the same company and department. Only the account code will be different. So the account code that I want to use here is that cash account. So I'll say with 23,000. Okay, so we are done with our basic details. So if at all I want to add new line, I can add it from here. It is just like an normal Excel. Okay. So now, if I want to load this particular thing, whatever I have entered here into Oracle, so what I will do is that I'll just click here, Oracle, and I'll say upload. So this will validate the records that I have entered here. Okay. Sometimes it will take time, I think. Yeah, it has come. Okay, so these are the parameters that we will have basically. So I'm just using the standard validation. I'm just saying upload. So it will tell us whether it is uploading correctly or it has some exceptions. Okay, so we can see that the success status. So now what we will do is that basically we will check this particular journal in our application. So we will go back to the application. Okay. Okay. So here we can see this is an unposted status and spreadsheet. Okay. So we used the source as spreadsheet and we used the category that we created, that is SAP invoice data migration. Okay. So in order to get this balances updated, so what we will do is that basically we will post this journal entries. Okay. So we can see that the dates are correctly updating and I will post this JB. So this is the process to upload the downloaded template. So now we will see how to download a template. Okay, you give me a minute.
application can have your
Yeah. So we saw how to upload basically. So we will see how to download this template before uploading. Okay. So here we have our responsibility, that is desktop integrator. So here what we will do is that we will say create document. Okay. So the moment we click create document, so this will open up another page. Okay. It will open something like this. So here the first step is to select our integrator. So here what is integrator is that the particular process that we wanted to perform. So we have budget, we have journals. So we don't want the other process. We wanted to load the journal entries. So I will click journals. So now system will run and give the relevant inputs. So here I have view. So view is nothing but our Excel, what do you call the version. So second step is to select the Excel version. So I have selected my version, and the final step is to select the layout. So the layout that we will select is functional actual single. Okay. So we are done with this. So we are done with the setups. So now what we will do is that we will say create. So the moment we say create, Excel file will download. So this will have the detailed templates with each columns. So wherein we will update the values. So here we can say save the file or open the file. So let me say open the file. So after this gets downloaded, I'll just open and I'll explain it. Okay, so now the Excel sheet has been downloaded. Okay, so if we open now, so we will see something like this. Okay, so we will see the data access set. So these are like predefined. So it is coming as a part of this one, the okay, so it has been generated, and now what we will do is that we will give our ledger name, we will give the category. So category we will change it to SAP invoice data migration, and we will select the what do you call the currency accounting and the journal this thing references. Okay, so once this is done, what we will do is that we will give only the three segments. The step one is to give the company segment. Step two is to give the account and then department. Then we will give debit and credit. So once we are done with this thing, so we have something called group ID. So group ID is nothing but it is kind of an unique combination wherein we will give. Okay. So So this is just for an identification purpose. Okay. So once this is done, so we are good with upload. So how do we upload is that we have an option here called Oracle. So this is generated automatically because this tool is given by Oracle. So we will have this option. So I'll click Oracle. Here I have upload. So the moment I upload, I will have whether this have any exception or it is been uploaded successfully. So once we see the message that is uploaded successfully, so what we will do is that we will check in the application whether it has went there into the base table. So how we will verify? So we will navigate back to the application. We will switch to our GL responsibility. Okay. So here, okay. So here, if I say find, I'll see by source and with category, I will be able to identify. Or if I want to identify by batch name, so that is also possible using the prefix that is starting with spreadsheet. Okay. So this way I can load using my webadi template. Any doubt or you understood or anything that we should start from beginning?
Sir, but today enough.
Yeah, repeat once again. I couldn't
Sir,
get.
I don't have understand now, sir, because
Mm.
much more time class started.
Uh, I mean, where exactly you are missing? Like, where did you not get this one?
सर मुझे लास्ट का कुछ समझने से नहीं आ रहा है सर.
Uh, how to explain this? No, this is actually kind of a process where these are the steps that is involved. Like, basically, there are three steps involved. So one is the download. So download, we saw that we have a separate responsibility for this. So we will go there and we will select the integrator and we will click the create. The moment we give
Yeah.
yeah, the moment we give create, it will download an Excel sheet. Okay. So now the Excel sheet will be downloaded. So the next step is to take the downloaded Excel sheet and open it. So there we will have certain fields that needs to be filled up. There are few fields that is predefined. Okay, so that we cannot change it. So the fields like the ledger name and the period and the account code, and these are the informations that we will have to give. So once we have done with giving the information, so what we will do is that we have a tab called Oracle. So there we have an option called upload. So the moment we give upload, it will say that this records has been processed. So the next step is to check whether the data, whatever we entered in the Excel sheet, is coming in the application. So how we will check is that we will navigate to the general ledger application. So here we have journal. So we will click journal, enter, and there we will search. We will simply click find because the transaction count that we have is very less. So here we will be able to identify using the source and category. Okay, so this is how we will identify. Understandable or still you are not getting it?
Yeah, I understand sir now.
Yeah. So that's what you can practice probably. So practice and let me know if you
Sir,
have any queries.
how can practice? How can practice for it?
Yeah, you can practice using that link which I shared you.
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
whatever I'm doing it now, so it is there in that particular user this thing. So I'm using the same user. So whatever I'm doing it, you will be able to see. Maybe if you have any doubt or anything, you can check that also. And also, even if even after that you did not get it, you can ping me in this one WhatsApp group or something. So I can check and I can try to solve your issue.
today is enough for
Sorry,
आज के लिए इतना ही है बस हो गया
I did not get exactly.
सर today is enough for
Today you are asking, is this enough?
yeah
Yeah, that's, I mean, you can tell me, like, if you want to connect later sometime, or maybe if you want to connect tomorrow, we can connect.
या
Your
सर
choice.
मैंने सर मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा
Can you
can I
repeat?
talk to Hindi
Yeah, yes, you can talk, but the thing is that your voice is little low actually. I couldn't get correctly. Yeah, yes, tell me
हाँ
now.
कल आप सुबह में क्लास अटेंड कर सकते हैं सुबह ले सकते हैं क्लास सुबह कब ले सकते हैं मैं डेली
कर
शेड्यूल
सकते हैं, लेकिन कब चाहिए, मतलब 7 8 something like that.
या
सेवन
सर
थर्टी will work.
7 व्हाट
No, 7:30, or by what time you want?
and you said me that I have free I have ready for after morning 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Okay, fine. So we'll start by 7:30 then.
tomorrow
Yeah, tomorrow.
और सर मैं ये कहना चाहता था
Uh,
कि पूरा जो क्लास का ड्यूरेशन होगा वो तो ड्यूरेशन कितना है पूरा क्लास का
class का duration, total duration, it would be around 50 hours actually.
50 आवर्स एक्चुअली
Yeah,
एंड सर आप पूरे ही टॉपिक आप ही कवर करने वाले हैं क्या
7 नहीं पूरे.
बट सर आई डोंट हैव ऑडिबल योर साउंड मैं कहना चाहता था कि ये क्लास पूरी आप ही टीच करने वाले हैं
Yeah, yes, I'll be teaching it.
हाँ हाँ मुझे लगा क्या कोई बोले तो अदर टॉपिक के अदर टीचर होंगे
नहीं, पूरा मैं हैंडल करता हूँ, पूरा 5 modules.
हाँ क्या है मॉडल सर आपका जो फर्स्ट मॉडल आप अपना सिर्फ जनरल मॉडल चालू है ना अभी
General budgets.
नहीं 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 आप कौन सा जनरल मॉडल चालू है ना सिर्फ खाली
हाँ, जनरल
आणि
मॉड्यूल्स
इस
मतलब फाइनेंस कह रहे थे, दूसरा मॉड्यूल्स मतलब एससीएमआई से बोल रहे हैं.
आणि टोटल 5 मॉडल्स कौन से होंगे सर कौन से होंगे
टोटल 5 मॉड्यूल्स मतलब हमका अभी वो एपी स्टार्ट होना है. एपी, एआर, सीएमएस एंड एफए. So all these
Yep.
5 modules I'll be handling.
हाँ
Yeah. Yeah. So any
and
doubt you
sir
can. Yeah. Yes.
how many days to complete this course in 2 months
Yeah, we can complete in 2 months also. We can complete, no issue. We'll try to fast track and we'll complete in 2 months.
yeah sir मैं कहना चाहता था
Uh,
are you now fresher ना I don't asking you and you have no time
for doubts you are saying.
सर मैं ये बोलूँ तो ये मेरा जो क्लास का जो पूरा जो कोर्स पूरा पूरा हो गया है ना
Uh,
तो मैं इसकी प्रैक्टिस कहाँ कर सकता हूँ बोले तो वर्षों डेली बोले तो प्रैक्टिस के लिए कहाँ जाना पड़ेगा बोले बता तो प्रैक्टिकल
uh,
वर्क के लिए
Yeah, after this one, I would suggest you to install this one. So now you will be using this one, so that would be fine. But after class, probably I don't know if they will be giving it to you. So probably you can install this one. So this will cost around 500 to 1000 something around it. So you can install in your machine, the laptop or desktop, whichever you want to install, so that you can practice. And doubt and these things you can reach out to me anytime. But this I would suggest you to install in your system so that you can practice anytime you have. Okay. Hello.
हाँ
Yeah.
So probably you can install in your system and then probably you can practice.
सर मैं जो इंस्टॉल कर रहा था ना एप्लीकेशन वो हो नहीं रहा है सर, कैसा करना पड़ेगा?
ओपन नहीं हो रहा है आपको?
हाँ नहीं सर, मैं प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ सर, लेकिन वो लिंक से ओपन होता है मेरे लैपटॉप में। आप बता सकते हैं कैसे इंस्टॉल कर सकता हूँ मैं, स्टेप टू स्टेप?
हाँ हाँ, दिखा दीजिए एक बार।